Um, do you have the two-step up?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I will pull it up
Okay.
while you do an intro. Yep.
Oh, and we're recording. All right. Hello, everyone. Okay, so Gretchen and I are going to take team tonight's call because I feel like it's just so much better, like having energy, be able to pass back and forth. And we are two actually pretty different people. I mean, when it comes like personality wise. So I feel like we are putting together like the best package for you by us coming together. So, all right. So we are going to talk about creating your list and not only creating your list, but how to tackle your list. So we'll go through a little bit of a memory jogger activity while we're on the call tonight. But there's so many reasons to have a list. Number one is it helps keep you organized. And number two is how in the world are you going to follow up with people if you don't know who you need to follow up with? And we've all heard that the fortune is in the follow-up. And I would love to hear in the chat how many times your enrolling sponsor followed up with you before you got started. I will tell you mine because Allison and I probably had multiple coffees when we both worked downtown Minneapolis. I think she invited me to at least 3 or 4 healthy happy hours in Hopkins. I think I completely ghosted her on a few of them. I told her that I would come to one of them, canceled the same day, and then I finally went probably the 4th or 5th time she invited me. So just to give you an idea of lists are super, super important because I could have so easily fallen off her radar had she not written my name down and written that I had ordered 1 canister of shakes and shut off my auto ship and then bars, she has a crazy memory. But lists are so incredibly important. So the fortune is in the follow-up, and it's also how people take you seriously. So if you are connecting with someone and you tell them that you're going to send them something and you don't, how are they going to take you seriously that this is your business? And I just feel like if you never follow up with someone, you could very easily lose them to someone else, something else, which kind of goes to my next point is that Isagenix is not a household name yet. I mean, who of you knew of Isagenix before the person that enrolled you told you about Isagenix? I had no idea. I didn't even know any nutritional system. I mean, I ate like a 5-year-old. So what would I be doing looking at nutritional systems? So, but I will tell you, give it 5 years, 10 years at most, and Isagenix will become a household name. And so if there are people that you're thinking of, there is a little sense of urgency to reach out to them and connect with them. Maybe it's not to talk about Isagenix right away, but it's at least stressing the importance of contacting them, getting in touch with them, setting up a coffee with them, planting that seed, because when they ask you what's new, you can bring up Isagenix. So they can at least ask you more questions about it, because I can guarantee that if you're thinking about them and if you're thinking of all of the ways that they would be important and they would be huge for your team, you feel like they would just love the products, you would love to work with them, somebody else is thinking about them. Maybe it's not Isagenix, maybe it's another network marketing company, but I will tell you that there have been so many people that I have literally had on my I would love to work with them. And one of them just started LipSense. And I'm like, no! I didn't reach out to her because I was like, oh, she's busy. Like, she just had a baby. But all of those excuses, like, everybody's going to be joining something at some point. We know that. Like, that's the trend where it's going. And so there is a sense of urgency to reach out to these people if they're on your mind, if they're coming to your mind. So Gretchen and I are going to go through the memory jogger. So we asked all of you to come with your lists, but we're going to go through the memory jogger exercise in order for you to determine and figure out who are those people that come to your mind right away. So Gretchen, you want to pull it up?
Yep. Okay. You want me to talk too? Is this my turn? Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm going to pull up the memory jogger. I'm going to share my screen. Do you guys see it right here?
Not yet. Yes.
You do. Okay. I'm just going to make it bigger. Make it the right size. Oops, sorry. I have like a cool zoomy thing. Okay. You guys can see it. Okay. That write your fast start list right here. This number 4. Okay, so if you have your list accessible to you, this is like a working call. So if you have your list accessible to you and you can pull it up, do it. If it's on your computer and it's not easy for you to do a side-by-side screen, it's okay. But I want you to get a sheet of paper at the minimum, like grab a blank sheet of paper or grab something near you. And I want you to literally look at this number 4 of some people that you may know to get started below. Because sometimes this is what happens. Have you guys experienced this? You talk to somebody about sharing Isagenix and they're like, I don't know anyone. And you look at their Facebook friend list and they have like 900 friends. Like, has that ever happened to you? And you're like, yes, you do know some people. They're just not coming to your brain. So this memory jogger that's here, it needs to be something that you're constantly thinking about, right? Like, gym buddies, that should be something that you're growing all the time. Like, you should be making new friends at the gym all the time. So your gym buddy memory jogger, like right now, write down try to write down 5 names right now that you know of people who go to the gym or go to your gym. And I'm going to give you a tip on this. Go to your gym's Instagram page and look who's following that page and start following those people and become their friends. I had a coffee date or have a coffee date coming up of a gal that I met through Instagram who we go to the same gym and live in the same city. So if you don't have names written down, your homework is to go to your gym's Instagram page. And if you don't go to a gym, it's to go find a gym or find somewhere where you can exercise. So that's your homework there. Okay, so now how about neighbors? I think it's shocking how many people do not know their neighbors. So if you don't know their names, I want you to write down 5 names of people in your neighborhood that you want to get to know. And even if you have to say like the blonde lady in the blue house, like put 5 names down right now.
This is amazing. Is anybody else just like, I'm like, okay, wow. Like I'm thinking of all of my people that I went on our kitchen crawl, like our progressive dinner. And I was just like, why have I not talked to any of them? So if you don't have a way to get to know your neighbors, do a bunko night, do something, do a cookie exchange, do something like that. Even if it's just like a quick thing, on a Tuesday night, or tell them to invite all the kids over and have a bonfire. I mean, you can have bonfires in the middle of winter, and do s'mores or do something like that. Get outside your comfort zone and find opportunities or create opportunities for you to meet your neighbors. Maybe it's the bus stop.
Totally. Okay, how about wedding guest list. This might be harder because you might have to like actually go look at your wedding guest list if it's been a while since you've been married. But like when, have you combed through your wedding guest list? Is there someone who came to your wedding who was even maybe in your wedding that you have never talked to about Isagenix? Like try to think of those people, if there is one of those people.
I think we often think about like our high school friends, our college friends. But one of the things that I found is I need to think about Paul, my spouse. I need to think about his high school friends. Yes, we met in college, so we have a lot of the similar college friends. But thinking about your spouse's high school and your spouse's network expands your network too.
Mm-hmm. Totally. So, okay, so you kind of get the point of the exercise when we do just 3 of them. So your homework is to literally take this step and do this step yourself. Because if you're going to be using the 2-step system and teaching it, you want to have done it yourself so that you know what it feels like to try to think of a few gym buddies or a few neighbors or a few people from your wedding. You want to be able to quickly like sit down, because if you sit down and think of 5 people in these categories, what do we have here? We have 10 categories. There's 50 people right there. Like 5 people times 10, there's 50 people. So you now have like a list of 50 people to work off of that may be a little fresher than the list you are working off of, right? Because sometimes our lists can get really stale, or we just don't look at it, or you get busy. It happens to every single one of us. So just know that that's normal. But sometimes that means you need to make a new list. Do you remember when we had Becky O'Donnell on this call right after she came back from UIA and she's like, I need to make a new list. Like Becky is hugely successful in Isagenix and she's making new lists. So definitely like take our advice on this. And then we want you to really connect with those people. Like that is like the next thing we want you to do with this list is you make this list of 50 people. And next week, we're going to be giving you like some marching orders about this list. But for now, like just connect with these people, like send them messages and be like, hey, I was thinking of you, because that's literally the truth. Like you just thought of them right now. I was thinking about you. How's Christmas going? How's shopping for Christmas going? Is it, are you going to any fun parties? Like, how was your year? Like, that's all you have to do is just ask like 3 or 4 connecting questions and then just listen and like get to know them and start to like have no agenda about Isagenix. Like you're just messaging them to tell them you were thinking about them and you want to know how they're doing. Like that's it. So that's kind of that part of it. Do you want to talk about cold, warm, hot, Barbie?
Highlighting?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why don't you talk about that?
Okay. So this week, after you make your list of 50 people, you connect with all of those people, right? So you have a lot of work to do because we're like asking you to like reach out to 50 people like in the next couple of weeks, but you can do it because all you're doing is connecting with them, right? So that's like 5, like just do 5 a day, like 5 a day, 5 to 10 a day of messages of just connecting with people. I'm going to do this too. And as you're doing that, we're going to have you.
Is she muted? I can't hear anything. Is that me?
Oh my gosh, I'd love to get to know you. I'd love to have us get together. That would be so fun. I've been thinking about that. That's now like a warm person. So, and a hot person would be where the conversation has gotten so far that you're like really connecting about like an area of their life where they want to change, or maybe they've asked you what you're doing and you say, well, I've been doing Isagenix. It's been going amazing. Or they ask you what's new and you say, oh my gosh, so I started this health and wellness company. It's so cool. It's been awesome. Like, don't invite them to Isagenix in these calls, in these conversations. Like, don't invite them to Isagenix. But you might say, like, I started this new health and wellness company. It's going really amazing. You know, and then they might say like, oh, cool. You'll have to tell me about it sometime, you know, like, great. That would be awesome. We should do that. And then maybe like a couple days later when it feels right, you could be like, let's have coffee, or if it feels right in that moment, set up the coffee date, but like, don't rush it. Like, you definitely don't want to rush it. You want to be like solely doing this to connect them. But that person who's asking you like, oh, you'll have to tell me about it. Like, for example, today, one of my neighbors, actually, she's not my neighbor. She goes to my kid's school. She invited us to go to the holiday train and have hot cocoa at her house. And in passing, she was like, are you still doing Isagenix now that you have a job? And I'm like, yeah, it's going awesome. And she's like, we'll have to get together and talk about it sometime. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. And then I changed the subject because I wasn't going to talk about it right there. And so that person is on my hot list, right? Because she's like wanting information. So this week, after you make your list of people and you kind of connect with them, and as you start to connect with them, highlight them in 3 different colors: cold, warm, hot. Because next week, we're going to be telling you what to do with the cold, warm, and hot, and giving you a little bit more direction about that. But that's kind of what we wanted you to do, like give you some really, this time of year, it's really hard in Isagenix, you guys, this time of year, because it's like, you know, do I get people started? Do I like, is this the right time for them? Like the 2 weeks before Christmas, some people are going to get started as a Christmas present to themselves, and other people are only thinking about January. So you have to like just meet people where they're at always, but particularly this time of year, because somebody who might be really, really ready, like you don't want to just be so aggressive that then they don't like, then they're like not ready, right? Because they just want to wait till January. You kind of want to like start thinking about like people who are either going to buy it for themselves as a Christmas present, or they're going to wait till January. It's not to say people won't order right now, but this is like a perfect time to connect with people. And I'm gonna tell you one more story. So 2 years ago, I connected with Chelsea Word over a Christmas card. Okay. So I posted about how I was totally slacking on my Christmas card, and it just started a messenger conversation, which led to a conversation about health goals, which led to her ordering her value pack in January. And she quickly became like a builder on our team. So like this time of year, like do not take your foot off the gas. Like you do not want to take your foot off the gas, but you do want to just like spend so much time connecting with people. Like it's so important. And that's why we're having you make this list, because it gives you something to do between now and the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I love that story. And I feel like it reminds me so much of, I know they talk about, you know, posting on social media, making sure that you're posting about like your 5, you know, key ad categories and things like that. It just like you just saying that reminded me, like I put a post out there not that long ago. It was an extremely vulnerable post of mine. And it said, you know, whatever. I mean, it was a very vulnerable post, and I had so many people write so many wonderful things on it. And one of the things that I've done, instead of commenting back on the thread, I have actually sent them private messages, because so many people wrote stories and such heartfelt messages to me that I wanted to let them know that it was more than a like, or it was more than a love, or even like a thanks, hon. Like their messaging and their reach out to me has been so like just absolutely heartfelt that I wanted to send them a private message. And that has brought so many amazing conversations with people that were just showing me love that one day. And so sometimes it's really nice to take those comments that you get from people, like whether it's a funny post, whether it's a heartfelt one, whatever it may be. Sometimes it's really nice to take those comments off of Facebook and thank them, or, you know, kind of continue the laugh, continue the joke, whatever it may be, through a private message. Because sometimes you have no idea where those conversations are going to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's so key. It's so key, Barbie. And if you think about it, that's how all of us came into Isagenix. All of us came into Isagenix because of a relationship that someone started with us. And think about how grateful you are right now for your enrolling sponsor for developing that relationship, right? So you just have to like really remember that with every person that you're connecting with in the next couple of weeks as the holidays come, is that you might be that key for that person in their life that needs to unlock this part of them that's just waiting to come out. And it all starts with you thinking of them because of the memory jogger, right? Like it's all this cascade of events. So this step is so important. So yeah. So what questions you guys have, or what thoughts does anybody have? Or Barbie, do you have more you want to say on that?
No, I think just, I mean, if there's any questions or anything like that, but like really encouraging you guys to, like Gretchen said, use this time to not talk about Isagenix, but to just genuinely connect with people. And if you're struggling when you're going through the memory jogger of, you know, what to say to them, what to reach out to them, people always love to hear stories about why you remembered them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just wrote a girlfriend the other week. She was literally a friend of mine in elementary school. And I remember that we used to like jump on the trampoline and just do like funny whatever stuff. And so I sent her that message of like, she just came into my mind, you know, of, you know, us jumping on the trampoline in her backyard for hours and hours on end. And we have spiraled into like an amazing conversation of where we're living now, how many kids we have, like, and it was just me reaching out to her, like laughing about a memory that I had with her.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes people just like to go back to how you knew them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mary, I'm not quite sure I understand your question. Christmas cards, okay. You want to unmute yourself? Oh, yeah, to send Christmas cards. Yeah, I mean, that's an amazing way to connect. Like, tell them about your year. I always, in my Christmas card, I always say something about our business. Like, our business is going awesome, or another thing. So I did that thing that Lindsay Hoffer told us to do, and I printed off postcards, and I printed off ones to send to all the team, anyone who's ever ordered from us. And then I printed off the ones that she had that said, like, that this has blessed our family, that this nutrition has blessed our family. So I did that, and that's what I gave to all of the kids as teachers, is like an Isagenix product and something about that. But yeah, you can talk about it in your Christmas cards. And the bigger thing is not necessarily that you're trying to talk to them about your business. It's that you're connecting with them when you get their card. So every single Christmas card I get, I immediately send them either a message on Facebook or a text message, and I say, I just got your Christmas card. Oh my gosh. And I give a compliment about something in the card, right? So your dress is so cute. The kid's hair is adorable, like something specific. Don't just say your kids are so cute or this is so cute. Like say something very specific, because think about how much effort we put into the picture on our Christmas card, okay? All of us, right? And so for someone to point out a detail, like the matching outfits is such a nice touch. And I love the yellow. The yellow is such a good color on all of you. And so she'll be like, oh my gosh, yes, okay, I knew yellow was the right color for our outfits, you know? And so it's like, say something specific about the card, like, where did you go to get that picture taken? It looks so beautiful. Because I'm sure they thought about that location, or, you know, something really specific about their family. Like give them that back. So that's like the best thing to do. And actually this year, I'll tell you my strategy. I'm not sending a Christmas card because I want to stand out. And so I'm going to send a Valentine's Day card. So if anybody else wants that idea, there you go. You can have the pressure of no Christmas card. There you go. Giving you that blessing.
My dad always did an Epiphany card.
Oh, cool.
And so that's what I gave myself grace. I'm like, I'm not doing a Christmas card right now. I'm like, I'll probably do like a February card or something like that. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, because the benefit too of doing a February card is likely they're probably haven't hit their goals by February. And so if you do send out a card end of January, early February instead of now, you know, and you can still do that in addition to Christmas if you already sent yours out. Like, I mean, there's no right or wrong way. It's just, you know, ideas to stand out. That's the thing, is you want to stand out more than other people are standing out with the way that you're making people feel, not with how impressive you are or what you have to offer, but you want to stand out that you make them feel better than anybody else did.
That's hilarious, Heidi.
That's amazing. I'm looking through the group chat. Okay, anybody else have any tips about their lists or things that this really work for them that they want to chime in about? Write them out or Excel. Write them out. Do you mean like handwrite them, Teresa? Is that what you mean? Like, should you handwrite your cards?
Yeah, like if, or no, I mean like for our list to work.
Oh. I don't think it matters. Honestly,
For-
I moved away from
for next week.
Oh, sorry, I totally cut you off.
You didn't cut me off. I muted myself.
Oh. Okay, so this is totally personal preference. I honestly don't think it matters. What matters is what is going to make you do the work. So if you taking the time to put it on Excel is just going to take time away from connecting, I'd say don't do it. I actually recently went back to paper because my Excel list got to like 700 people and it exhausted me to just even open it. So I went to old school paper and I just write names down on a sheet of paper right now. And that's what's working for me. And maybe next year that'll change. But I think that doesn't matter as long as you know who's on your cold, warm, and hot lists.
One of the things that I've done and have continued to do, I've gone between paper and electronic. I did Google Docs so that I could access it from anywhere. I found myself not even accessing it. But I like to go in my calendar and write the names that I reached out to so that I can go back and be like, okay, I need to follow up with this person. And I'll actually forward write their name of when I need to reach out to them again. So I really like using the calendar for it. But I mean, again, like the point is to make sure that names don't fall through the cracks. So do whatever works for you to make sure that you're most efficient with staying up to date with your list.
Yeah. So Teresa, that same calendar that you and I both have, I've been like writing their names in the days like Barbie's saying. And then I love your tip though of going forward with it, because I've just been looking back and being like, oh, it's been a few weeks. I need to talk to you. So I think it's good to be intentional. That's smart.
Yeah. I do not use the Isagenix database.
Allison or Holly's asking about the calendar. It's like a calendar you can get at Hobby Lobby. I think it's called Studio Print. It's just
Teresa, do you have yours with you? She's like, she got it when I was there. She was obsessed with it. So I'm sure she can show it.
Yeah, it's like an agenda planner. So it's got like, it's just like a regular planner, but you write it all out. But it's like the Agenda 52. Like Paper Studio, right?
There it is. Yeah. Paper Studio.
And I got a pineapple.
How cute.
I go big. I like to do it needs to be the same size as my notebook. I don't know. I just am like that. And so I just got mine. Mine is like this blue sky planner. I think I got it off of Amazon. I think it was like $10. Do whatever works for you. Law of attraction and passion planner, great too. Good tip, Heidi. Okay.
Cool. Well, thank you guys. And I can't wait for definitely take the time to do this. Please do this. Like, we put a lot of effort. We did a whole call ahead of time, you guys, to come up with some action steps for you. So I am begging you, take the action that we gave you, because you're going to be so glad next week that you did when you see what we have in store for you.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Thank you so much. Yay.
Do you have anything else in?
No, nothing for the week.
Okay.
Get your New Year's kickoff ticket. They're running out. So if you don't have yours yet, get your ticket. We have about 50 of us going right now. Yay! So exciting.
Hey, awesome. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.